Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am actually going to make a card. Now, Brutus Monroe makes it super easy because they do have slimline ready to go. So they have envelopes, they have pre-cut card panels, and they also have pre-cut card bases, which are off in my mess somewhere. So we aren't going to talk about those too much right now, are we? But we also have the stencil of the month, which is this beautiful interlocking circle ones. And I also have the BU stamp set, and I'm going to combine these on one card for a birthday card. So let's see what I can do. Now I decided to try to mask off part of the stencil and have kind of like a white space inside of this circle of the stamp set. So we're going to try it, and I really have no idea what I'm doing, you guys. I am just going for it. So I stamp off the stamp onto some white cardstock because I don't have a masking paper or anything like that. I have masking fluid, but I'm a little scared, so I don't use it. Now I am going to go ahead and put my slimline stencil right over top of the slimline card panel. And I am going to pull out this blue piece of printer paper. Don't worry, I'm not like using any kind of, delicious cardstock. It's just a piece of blue printer paper. And I'm going to kind of figure out where the circle needs to go over top of the stamp, or where the stamp circle needs to go over top of the stencil, and then I'm just going to tape it down there. And I'm just using some purple tape to do that. And then I'm going to figure it out eventually. I promise. I promise I'll figure it out. I grab my Pink and Main blender brush. This is the mini size. And I'm going to go ahead and just ink blend all the way around where I have this kind of masked off area. Now, I probably should have gone ahead and did a complete circle where the mask was off, but you can't really tell once I stamp over it. But if I was doing this again, I would definitely cut that out into a complete circle instead of having that weird little nubby thing come off the side of the circle. Now I'm just going to keep applying ink through the stencil until I get the level of color saturation that I want. And then I grab my Brutus Monroe cloth. I actually have two of these now. One is brand new and has no ink on it. And is just sitting over there all pretty as can be on my cart. And this one is all inked up as can be, and that makes me happy too. The pretty one makes me happy because it's pristine, and the inky one makes me happy because I've got ink all over it, and that means I've used it. It's kind of weird. Need to have two in my life. So I peel off the stencil, and look at that. That is gorgeous, you guys. I am in love with it. And then I'm going to pull out my stamping tool and place that card panel in there. And then I'm going to figure out where I want the stamp to go. And if you looked at that, you could see where I masked it off. The circle has a little nubby on it. Like I said, it kind of gets camouflaged in the florals and you don't really see it. But I know it's there. So in the future, cut a full circle. So now that I have this on here, I'm going to ink up my stamp with Brutus Monroe Raven Detail ink. By far, my favorite black ink ever. It just works so well. I just love it. Now, the beauty of a stamp positioning tool is that you can restamp multiple times. So I am going to do that just to make sure I get a nice, dark, crisp, clean image. And once, that's right, push it down one more time. And then once I do that, I am happy with my card panel. And at this point, I'm still thinking that my card panel is going to be long ways. And then I look at this and I'm like, no, this card panel needs to be straight up and down. And then I go ahead and grab my slimline dies and I'm going to spell out the word thank you. So these dies are pretty awesome. You can do individual letters, and you can also kind of do like the background. Now I'm not going to do the background. I just pop out the individual letters, and they all have little holes in them, so you can pop out the letters if they get stuck in your die. You could also buy some die release paper. I haven't ventured into that yet, but I'm thinking about it. Definitely thinking about it. It really does stink if you buy dies and they don't have the little holes to help you poke through. I have purchased dies that way, and they are a true disappointment, so I really appreciate the fact that these have those great little holes there. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply my letters with some liquid glue. And I'm kind of doing this without testing where they need to be. So it's a beautiful thing that it works out. Otherwise, I would have had a mess on my hands because this glue does dry pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my letters glued and nestled onto the page. And guys, I like where this card is. Like, I like this card. I'm a fan of the color purple. I think there should be definitely more purple in crafting. So this makes me happy. And I like the fact that the center of the circular area is not colored in. I like the fact that it is white. Now I'm leaving this in here because I struggle, and maybe somebody has a good idea of what I could have done to make this work. So my stencil doesn't go all the way across the envelope, and I was trying to figure out a way to just get a little bit of the stencil on here. And I just, for some reason, my brain was just not working, you guys, and I couldn't figure it out. Now, I figured out how to only get it on the envelope flap and not on the front of the envelope, but then I couldn't get it to line up. So ultimately, I decided to ditch that idea. And I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out what would be cool to put on the envelope flap. And I don't know why I was worried so much about what was going on the envelope flap, because I really don't think the person that I'm going to give this card to is going to pose the card for a picture. Like, they're not. So, yeah. Anyway, I kind of gave up and then came up with a different idea and decided to go for it. So I pulled the other floral stamp off of the Be Happy stamp set. The words, it's already out of my head. Be Happy, right? No, Be You. The Be You stamp set. And I decide that I'm going to stamp this floral stamp on the flap of the envelope. And the envelope doesn't fit into this size Misty, but that's okay. Since it's just an envelope, it's going to go up over the edge and it's not going to like change anything or do anything like that. So now I have the floral on the back of the envelope, and my envelope matches my card, and I am super happy. There it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you're interested in any of these products, they'll be listed in the description box down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.